Ladies and gentlemen, I am Hitkid Worldwide, here at a round table. This round table, ladies and gentlemen, is to discuss the 7th edition of the Destiny Championship Alliance's Revelations, titled The 7th Deadly Sin. I am not alone here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to go through the entire match card and give a prediction and thoughts on every contest set for Revelation 7. But it won't just be me. I would like to introduce the panel alongside me. Starting with the owner of the United Wrestling League, Mr. Downtown Jason Brown. How's your ribs?
Oh, they feel like shit. But hello, everyone.
Yeah, last voltage, we all saw it, but I thought I'd ask it out of curiosity and kindness, okay? Hope you're healing up.
Yeah.
I'm also joined... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I said, yeah, I'm healing up.
I'm also joined by someone who I share colour commentary duties with quite a lot around recent virtual wrestling scenes. Most recently at Ring of Alliance on Civil War. Robert McNichol for his first Revelations. Lord have mercy on him.
God help me, but I'm kind of excited and nervous. Anyway, this is going to be one weekend you do not want to miss.
And our third and final guest joining us is someone who has been a staple on these Revelation cards, not on this year's card, someone who it's quite opening in the air, I've had conflict with quite recently, but we like to bring the controversy, we like to bring the chaos, and this man, to be honest, encompasses all that while also being a figurehead within Virtual Wrestling United, Mr. Malik Brown.
Pleasure being here.
Nice to have all of you here. It's that time of year again, guys. That night or 2 nights where we don't know what the hell's going to happen, but something unholy usually happens. It's Revelations weekend. And I say we dive right down onto the card, if we're allowed to be honest.
Yep.
Our opening contest for Revelations weekend. A battle of the Wildcats Kaijus, if I'm allowed to say it.
Oh, God.
In one corner, the heavenly goddess of annihilation, Celeste Amira. In the other corner, the original kaiju of Wildcats, and one of the original core wrestling kaijus, in my opinion, Pyra. These two, as we know, earlier this season teamed together. That has gone to hell ever since Gateway to Heaven, where Pyra, in a sense, you could say, cost Celeste Amira the Wildcats Gateway to Heaven ladder match. So, they're going to settle it. We've seen the bros, we've seen the destruction. Who wins and why? Let me first send it. We'll go around clockwise. So, Jason Brown, to you first.
So this matchup right here is very interesting. You know, both women, being the tallest on the roster. Both, I believe, are the same exact height. Correct me if I'm wrong. And last time, on Wildcats, when Pyra was pretty much, pretty tearing into Celeste Amira, talking about how Celeste is just a copycat and that she will always be in her shadows, that Celeste used her because if you remember last year, they were supposed to be in a tag team match against the Rebellion, but somehow that got turned into a one-on-one match. And, Pyra took offense to that. That's pretty much like strike one and many strikes that happened during their tag teamship. And Celeste, being Celeste and everything like that, both women, very powerful, very, very destructive elements. But if I had to give the victory here, I want to say Pyra, but at the same time with Celeste Amira, her with pretty much back-to-back Revelation losses, she's going to do anything and everything to try to beat Pyra. So I think just by a bit, Celeste comes out the queen of the kaiju.
Very good prediction and a good rundown background. As we know, Celeste Amira is coming off the loss of her last Revelations due to that match being changed from a tag team match to a singles match with Morgan Raincroft, who we'll get onto later on. Over to Robert McNichol for his prediction on this one.
This is going to be nothing short of a knockdown, drag 'em out fight. I am not expecting neither woman to do fancy holds or submission technicians, whatever. I am expecting nothing short of a good old-fashioned barroom fight. But I'm going to have to disagree with you on picking Celeste, because Pyra is the OG kaiju, and she wants to reinsert her dominance as the kaiju in the Wildcats roster. So on that night, it will be Pyra taking down the heavenly goddess of destruction in a gruesome battle.
All right, 1-1. Malik, break the split, please.
I hear both Jason and Robert and what they say. Oh, by the way, Jason, here's a water for you.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
It's interesting what Robert said. Pyra is looking to reinsert her monsterness in the Wildcats division, but I think you're forgetting that Celeste also has to prove a lot to herself, because sorry, not sorry. For the last couple of years, she's been calling herself the Heavenly Goddess of Annihilations, but you've had back-to-back Revelations losses. So, as far as I'm concerned, both women are going into this match with the appeal and the history of what they are. But right now, in the future, in the now, I don't even think they're even near the level of what most kaijus are, because there are more dangerous women. But maybe this will be the match where they can put everybody on notice and make people remember, hey, we're still here, we're still dangerous, we're still deadly, don't forget that we exist. No matter who wins this match, both women are gonna put everybody on notice. And for that, I'm just going to say, I think this is going to be Celeste's night. I think Celeste is going to be a little bit more hungrier. She's going to be a little bit more deadlier than Pyra. Because while Pyra has a whole lot to prove, Celeste has everything on the line. And that's how she's going to go into that match. Not just her pride, not just her status, not just her name, her career. Everything's on the line for her. It's put up or shut up. And I feel like Celeste is going to be the winner.
I think for this one and for my pick, you have to look at the word legacy. This. Because what I see, this is in a sense, a past versus present, a past versus future, if you get where I'm coming from. Pyra has the legacy. She's a former CCL Women's Champion, had a dominating reign with the CCL Women's Championship from what I remember. Putting down the likes of Christy Montero, Wonder Woman, Meredith, Meredith. And it took Morgan to really put the first, Morgan Raincroft, who is a common denominator between these two women, to really put the first chink of, dent in Pyra's armour. Same which she did to Celeste, but Celeste wanted that fight. But the thing is, you look at big match success. Ladies and gentlemen, Pyra has been there with the big match success. Celeste Amira hungers for that big match success. So what's more dangerous, someone with experience or someone with hunger? And we've seen how ruthless these two women can be. We've seen Celeste Amira, I remember the Rhea Graham feud. She hospitalized Rhea on more than one occasion. Pyra has made it a good habit of putting people through flaming fucking tables. So they're both really fucking ruthless. On this night, it comes down to who I think will win it on the night. And I'm going to split the table. I think Pyra maybe, just maybe, outsmart Celeste Amira. So I'm going to say Pyra and split the table on this one.
It's gonna be a brutal one, to say the least. And that's just our opening contest for night 1 of Revelation 7.
Yep, I will get into our second bout. Our second bout, 4 men, one championship, the DCA Burnout Championship on the line. The champion, the Iron Man, Aaron Anderson. Challenged by 3 challengers. The wrestling professional, the legend of core wrestling, the Great D, AJ O'Connor, and the Vice City Madman, Tommy Fassetti. Fatal 4-way rules, I do believe, so that means 1 fall to a finish for the DCA Burnout Championship. Jason Brown, who have you got and why?
These 4 men, 4 of the 5 men who have been tied to the hip over this championship this entire season. The 5th man not in this matchup, that being one Jeremy Paisley. But these four men, have just been tied to the hip with this championship. Great D won the championship due to controversy because of AJ O'Connor, and then he lost it due to controversy, and then AJ would lose it to Aaron, and Tommy. He's just been after that fucking belt since last year.
Yeah.
He every time Tommy has popped up, he's been gunning after that burnout title. Out of these 4 men, you got former world champions in this match. You got a psychopath in this match, and you got a man who's very, very desperate and very unhinged in AJ O'Connor. It really is who can get to that first pin. And I want to say, I think at the end of this, it will be hashtag and still Burnout champion, the Iron Man, Aaron Anderson.
1 for the champ, 1 for the Iron Man. Robert McNichol, who do you pick and why, my friend?
Jason said it best. All 4 of these men, with the exception of Jeremy Paisley, have been literally looked like surgically attached to the hip over this championship. You got AJ O'Connor, who on multiple occasions has caused title changes with 2 of the 3 men, with one with the Great D, one with Aaron Anderson. Okay, but as everyone knows, the one man you do not want to keep your eyes off is one Tommy Vercetti. There's a reason why he is known as the Vice City Madman. And in my honest opinion, I say that on this night you will hear from the ring announcer and new DCA Burnout champion Tommy Vercetti.
Seems like everyone's backing a competitor right now, backing a fighter. Malik, are you going to back behind someone who one of the guys chosen, or are you backing someone completely different?
A lot of the guys in this matchup have, except one, has something in common. They all have been Burnout champion.
Mm-hmm.
Except Tommy Vercetti. And honestly, ever since Tommy came into DCA, I don't know, I guess I was waiting for him to be what his name means. I was waiting for him to be that because I haven't seen it. I haven't seen that of Tommy in the last couple of months. Hell, a year I haven't seen it out of him. But he slowly but surely has started to become that. And as much as Aaron is an Iron Man, as much as a unstoppable force is Aaron Anderson, unfortunately, there are too many factors to go into that match. You have Tommy Vercetti, who just is hungry to win the belt. You have the Great D, who wants to get that belt that he lost in such a controversial fashion. You have AJ O'Connor, who in such a desperate way wants to gain the belt that he felt he should have never lost to begin with. But I think I'm going to go with Robert and say there will be a new champion, and I feel it's going to be Tommy Vercetti.
2 for Vercetti, 1 for Anderson. Honestly, I can see the argument for Vercetti. The Facchetti we've seen the last couple of weeks has been the old Facchetti. And I also think, you also take a look at Tommy Fachetti's, career around core wrestling, okay? The man has been in this game for over a decade. More recently, we've seen his vicious side come out to everyone who pays attention to other shows such as UWO, where he's been involved in a blood feud which is leading to Hell in a Cell with a certain person who I won't mention on these airwaves. But that word experience, for me, is a kicker. Because Facchetti, this is his type of match. It's a fatal four-way, there'll be no rules, no DQ. Same to AJ O'Connor. I agree. I think we're going to hear an anew. But the word experience, I think of who can be the most crafty, but also within this match, I think smart. I think sometimes it pays to be the smartest. And out of the 4 men in that match, ladies and gentlemen, the smartest man in that match, by, in my opinion, a good landslide of in-ring IQ, is the wrestling professional, the Great D. And for that reason, I think he manages to get a cover when some of the other guys are taking each other out. And new Great D. So really, we're all going new champions, but just not... We're all going on new, but just different picks. Oh, sorry, no, Jason went on still.
Yeah,
Jason.
I'm still in still. The only factor here is no one picked AJ.
Well... And by the way, I know most of us do not like AJ O'Connor, okay? That's just a blunt...
I'm indifferent.
You're indifferent. Most of us don't like AJ O'Connor. Like, with his actions and all that. But he does have a shot in it because of how desperate he is. Mm-hmm. Moving on. This one for me, youth versus experience. DCA Fever Championship. Challenger, the woman who won the #1 contendership tournament to the FIFA Championship, the world's strongest Ki Tae-young, takes on DCA Fever champion, a member of Black November, a woman who has been to many revelations in a big match, Lady Beast Mode, Vanessa Price. Jason Brown, who leaves Revelation 7 FIFA champion?
This right here is going to be the sleeper match. I think a lot of people really need to look out for. I'm seeing this as probably the match that might steal the show, because these two women, phenomenal athletes. These two women, two of the best on Wildcats. Vanessa, she's been to the mountaintop. She's been, many people at one point considered the ace of Wildcats. And TK Young, a woman who's she is so damn good. It's when she first debuted and everything like that, people automatically knew this woman was going to be something. So this one's a very hard choice, but I think the hunger and the fact that TK Young has come so close to so many big breakout moments. Or in something happened, or something, someone else got involved, or she got screwed out of something. And I think, because there's going to be no other factors in this match, it's just going to be between these two women right here. Ki Tae-young walks out new Fever's champion.
Robert, over to you. We have one for Anu.
This is going to be... I have to agree with this, Jason, on this one. This is going to be the sleeper match. And it's going to be the one match that everybody's got to keep their eyes on, because this is going to be the one that could steal the show come match that time. And I'm going to go the opposite. I say Vanessa Price, in her experience in this wrestling business, keeps Ki Tae-young down enough for the 3 count, and Price leaves still Fever champion.
Malik, these two from being in the locker room a lot. Go ahead, break the tie.
Whew, all right. I'm going to speak from experience. Experience does play a factor in a lot of matches, especially when it comes to a battle between youth and experience, veteran versus rookie.
Mm-hmm.
I have been in matches where I have been the rookie and I have been the veteran. And the one thing that I can tell you straight up that always wins the matches is not always the experience.
Mm.
It is how fucking bad you want it. How much will you push yourself to get where you're at? How much are you fucking tired? And how much do you want it? That's what makes or breaks you in a match. I have seen guys with Vanessa Price's experience who, yeah, had the experience, did everything, but when they met a brick fucking wall with little to no experience, they realized, holy shit, I can't break through that, because they realized that that's them looking back at them. The same type of hunger, the same type of drive. For me, I know Vanessa, and I know Vanessa will go up to 8th to 9th gear for Ki-Tae Young, the same gears she went to when she had her hellacious wars with Akira. But I'm gonna say Ki-Tae wins because I can see it in her eyes. She is so fucking ready. She wants it. And I think Vanessa is going to go down in defiance, but she's not going to walk out the Feverish champion and new Ki-Tae Young.
This for me, as I said, it's youth versus experience. Vanessa Price has a good list of names she has beaten at Revelations. Akira Yukimura at Revelations 2. What I still consider one of the most violent matches all time in DCA history. Go and watch that. She also beat Dallas, the former CCL Women's General Manager, at this event. I believe that was Revelations 3. Vanessa knows what it is to win on this stage. Ki-Tae Young, I might be wrong, but I do believe this is her first time at a Revelations.
Mm-hmm.
That plays a factor into this. That plays a factor. A big factor, because Vanessa's used to this stage. Will Ki-Tae Young get caught in the bright light? Like, I think of the second biggest stage, to this, the biggest stage Ki-Tae Young was on, which I remember, was Prestige 3. And we all remember the match she was in at Prestige 3. And who against. If not, let's just say it was one match which left us quite disturbed.
Mm.
However, that match at Prestige 3 against someone we'll be getting onto later in this card, Carmen Cortez, I think helped Ki-Tae Young. Yes, she was injured for months. Yes, she was put on the shelf. But ever since Ki-Tae Young has come back, there has been a new edge, a new ruthlessness, a new fuck the world attitude, a new never say die attitude. Because she blitzkrieged this tournament, going through some of the best. And Vanessa Price, to Malik's point, will be stubborn as all hell. But I think Ki-Tae Young's a buzzsaw right now. So, sorry Robert, you're on an island. I've got Anu as well. Ki-Tae Young leaves FIFA champion.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Oh, God.
Right, this is a main event, which could this is a fourth bout on the run sheet right now. We don't know if it'll be on the night, but this is a main event in any virtual wrestling arena in the world, and it's a match, in my opinion, with a lot of underlying stakes, and a dream match, a match which many core wrestling fans have waited for God, a decade possibly. The Russian Nightmare Morgan Raincroft takes on the baddest Southern woman you have ever seen in all of core wrestling history, Bobby J. King Taker.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you can tell by my face how excited I am for this. But I'll let the table go round first. Downtown Jason Brown, who wins this war of unholiness?
All right. Did you jizz yourself there? Did you jizz yourself there?
Very fucking funny. Very fucking funny.
But anyways. I think one of the key factors that many people have been going into this match about is where is Morgan's mindset. Many people have been wondering, is Morgan still that bitch? Still the Russian nightmare? Or has the injuries, taken its toll and she's starting to doubt herself? And I mean, recently, she lost the a title she held for over a year over in my league, self-promoting. She was the UWL Solar Flare champion for an entire year. And there were parts during that run where you could see the old Morgan Raincroft, who was Wildcats champion for, what was it, over 400 days?
Yes.
You saw the remnants of that Morgan. But also, more recently, you started to see the Morgan that people are wondering, is she still the Russian nightmare? I mean, even he's not here, but even Zahaya has even said, is Morgan doubting herself going into this match? And we even seen people go in there and even motivate Morgan. We saw her tag team partner Lovelace, and then that huge surprise that we saw more recently.
Yeah, the one we did not expect, which caused my mind to break along with Sahaya's. Mm-hmm. We called it.
You know who that surprise was, right?
Yeah, well, if you want to name it, go for it.
You go right ahead.
One Candace fucking Romero of all things.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about it goes from the past.
Yep. And I think with, getting that motivation and getting in that mindset that, what, I am still that bitch. I am still the Russian nightmare. I am still the alpha female of this goddamn roster. And, Barbie J, tough woman. Toughest in the business. But I think we will solidify that the Russian nightmare is still here. And I'm saying Morgan Raincroft will walk out with the dub.
Robert McNichol, over to you for this war of attrition.
Honestly, this will be my very first time seeing Barbie Joe Tucker in action in my young commentating career. But from what I've been hearing, she has earned the right to be called the baddest Southern bitch in all virtual wrestling. And like we've been talking about, Morgan has not been her usual self. She's been starting to doubt herself. And we always know that it only takes one little ounce of doubt to start the downward spiral. No offense. But on this night, Morgan will find a way to get back to her old Russian nightmare. But I have to say, it's still going to be Barbie Joe's night. It's still going to be Barbie Joe leaving with the W.
Jay.
Barbie J. Don't
put some respect on that fucking name,
Jay!
Robert.
I could laugh him right now. I could send you to go get drinks.
No, that's fine.
But we're gonna keep it chill. So yeah.
Yeah, as I was saying, I'm going to go with Barbie J. Tucker winning this matchup. But it's not going to be a pretty match because Morgan's going to throw everything at her, and it's going to be just a miracle for her to keep her down for the 3 counts.
Malik, you know these two women better than anyone, I would say. Considering your ties with the old TCW Asterix.
Yeah. So, for those that don't know Barbie J. Tucker, when she started her career out, she was exactly what everyone thought she was. She was a force of nature that just stormed through TCW Asterix, stormed through all the top competitors, and literally snatched the women's championship away from Danny Gibbons' clutches. This is this very same woman who made history by being the first woman in TCW Asterix history to not only be in the War Games tournament, but to get an opportunity at the world champion at the time, Rocky Blade. In which, may I remind you, one of her highlights was that she knocked Rocky Blade's 2 front teeth out with a spinning back fist with all her fucking might.
Yeah.
Barbie J has always been, in Morgan's career, the woman she measures herself up to and is always wanted to face. Yes, Morgan is at that point where she's wondering, am I still that person because of my neck injury and everything else that happening? And there are days I feel like I'm being left behind because there are hungrier people. Am I going to be just as hungry as them to keep that spot? Am I going to be the Russian nightmare again? Can I be what the people want me to be? And yes, Candice Romero coming in and basically giving her a slap back to reality is something that Morgan most definitely needed. Also knowing that Morgan has been training with Candice over the last couple of weeks, that also probably is going to help. But the way I see it, you're right, this is a dream match. This is a match that should have happened in season 3. This should have happened years ago. And it never came to be. But we're finally going to get it. We're going to get it in our Lord and Savior 2022. The Russian Nightmare, Morgan Raincroft versus the OG Mastodonis, the Southern Hellcat herself, Barbie J. Tucker. And I'm going to say, Barbie, I love you. I respect you. We'll still get drinks after the show, but it's Morgan's night.
Okay.
Honestly, I am so excited to watch this as a long-time virtual wrestling fan. Because I have seen both these women's work. I have seen the dominant Morgan Raincroft, cut through, Celeste Mira, cut through Carmen Cortez. Back in the early days of DCA, she cut through the entire Wildcats roster until Vanessa Price, stopped her. I've seen Barbie J. Tucker. I've seen what she did in War Games, and she made history. And then, of course, the war with Rocky Blade. That's one of the best. If you want a match to go and watch for virtual wrestling, ladies and gentlemen, go and watch that match. Barbie J. Tucker versus Rocky Blade. You want to see a fight? Go and watch that. This will be near enough the exact same scenario. This will be a fight. You're not going to get pretty wrestling goals. You're not going to get unique submissions. No. You're going to get 2 women looking to knock the other woman the fuck out. That is the blunt, honest truth about it. And both women have a lot of motivation. Barbie J. Tucker reappearing. How long has it been since we've seen Barbie J. Tucker in car wrestling in the mainstream? What, 3-4 years? Almost 5? And for Morgan Raincroft, I'll be honest, it's same as what we said about Morgan last year when she was going up against Celeste. You had to, and this is something which I find constant with Morgan more recently. She's in a must not lose situation. Because of, the pep talk to Candice Romero and all that. And I stuck with it last year when she was in this situation, and I'm going to do it again. I think Morgan Raincroft clutches this match with Barbie J. Tucker. I think they both beat the hell out of each other. But at the end, I think Morgan Raincroft is the one left standing. And that's only 4 matches in, and I'm already beginning to break my voice box. Hello. Right. Got another title match for you now, gentlemen. The DCA World Tag Team Championships on the line. Andre Barnett and Antoine Wright, Swift Funk, challenge the blacklist of Mark Austin and Aaron Alexander. Who leaves Destiny Championship Alliance World Tag Team Champions Jason Brown?
I'm starting to see a theme with a lot of this. It's a lot of past versus future. a lot of, legacy versus building legacy. And when you look at these two teams, I mean, look at, the Big Rig and, Aaron Alexander. The history these two men have in car wrestling. Yes, the Big Rig has never been, a world champion, but he's still, synonymous with virtual wrestling. Still one of the big names. And of course, Aaron. Need we say more about what that man has accomplished? Not just what he's done in CCL, but beforehand. Back in Badass Championship Wrestling. A man who has been the most loved man and who's been the most hated man. And then you got on the opposite side, you got two men who are so hungry, especially Andre Barnett. Andre is a guy who, at any moment, could break through and become a world champion. Or, the secondary champion. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow, some way this year, Andre's walking out of 2022 with a singles title. But this is about a tag team title. And it's about, what will win here tonight? The hungriness of the future or the experience of the past? Which I said, it's been the theme of the entire fucking night.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna keep going with what I've been doing. I've been voting for the future. And and remember, Swift Funk, former DCA tag team champions. These guys have been in this position before. And I think it's time that we see another reign with Swift Funk.
Roman Nickel?
This is going to be something to see because the Blacklist have been trying to become what they know they can be. I know a lot of fans are going to be cheering the Blacklist, and I know one of them. Hi, Marcelo. But on this night, I'm going to go with Tag Team Fluidity, and I'm going to go with Swift Funk. Sure, they haven't been teaming that long since the breakup, but it looks like it's like they never left. It never broke it up in the first place. And I'm going with Jason. On this night, you're going to hear and new DCA Tag Team Champions in Swift Funk.
Malik?
Well,
That's classy. That's classy.
Props to you, Mr. Brown.
I'll tip my hat to you on that one. Go ahead.
Look. I respect Mark Austin. I respect Aaron. I respect them for what they've done. And you know what? They have very much so established and kept themselves in a certain position where they are still a formidable threat. But Andre has been on this whole other level, and I know Antoine has been hungry to come back. And the fact that both of them are feeding off on that energy, I'm sorry, Swift Funk comes out winning those tag titles. I just want to hear Flashlight again, bro. That's it. I'm just ready for that.
We might have ourselves a sweep here.
We will have ourselves a sweep. I will be brutally honest. I am going new here. And this is no knock at Mark Austin and Aaron Alexander. They are two of the most ruthless, vicious, respected, hardest men in the core wrestling locker room. However, I want to harken back to this. Anyone remember how Swift Funk's original tag team title reign began? They defeated a certain team over one of the days on Revelations 3. Team, at the moment, and I'll do my shameless self-plug of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, is the current Worldwide Wrestling Alliance World Tag Team Champions in Dutch and Benny, the Lagoon Company, who are two of the most vicious motherfuckers, firsthand I know personally, that I have ever met. Same as Aaron, same as Mark. And they beat him at Revelations 3. So, I think history is going to repeat, just with different opponents. Malik could play the music again for all I care. And no, Swift Funk, and they're dancing out of Revelation 7 with those tag titles for a second title reign.
See that?
Let's move on. This one's going to be most interesting. Got me, well done.
Well done.
Next match on tap, ladies and gentlemen, is for the DCA Rising Star Championship. Two-time champion, the Great Knight, Erica Blandelli, defends against Nillen, who leaves this, in my opinion, a Rising Star dream match. DCA Rising Star Champion. Jason Brown, over to you.
Again, I keep seeing a theme here tonight. Even though Nillen is not, that much, deep as a veteran, but she's been here more than Erica has. And Nillen has just been someone who has been craving for a title opportunity, a title reign like this. Remember she came from one of the more popular tag teams with her and Destiny Williams. And
that's the memories.
And I do believe she got screwed out of a championship last year, if I'm correct. Wasn't she taken out of a match?
No, I will tell you what happened. Do you remember she gave up her spot in the Wildcats title match last year to Faith Connors?
Oh yeah. She gave up that opportunity. Yeah, now I remember. She gave up that opportunity for Faith. So she doesn't. But now she has this opportunity, to get a championship here, and and Erica, she's been a phenomenal Rising Star champion, but instead of going for the newer name, the more hungrier name, I'm going for someone I think is even more hungry, someone who at that point, at any point, could be a future Wildcats champion, and I'm picking Nillen.
Good choice.
One for Anu. Go ahead, Robert. You cut me off. You were going anyway. Go ahead.
Sorry. First time doing these Revelations prediction shows. But yeah, I have to agree. Nillen has a lot to prove since giving up her shot for the Wildcats title last year to Faith for Faith. So she does have a lot to prove. But if you flip the coin, it's the same thing for Erica Blandelli. She has a lot to prove. I mean, sure, she is a current two-time Wildcats Rising Star champion, but best believe she still wants to makes that division the best it can be. So knowing this, I'm going to say at Revelation 7, we're going to see Erica Blandelli knock off Nillen and retain the Rising Star championship.
Split again, Malik. Go ahead.
Yes, this one's a tough one because both women I can see coming out the victor. But honestly, after careful consideration, I'm going to have to pick Nillen.
Here we go.
I am leaving Robert on an island straight away here. This is a match I am actually, even though I think it will be an excellent match, this is actually one of my surefire picks of the evening. I am going on now. Nillen has a lot to prove here. She gave up an opportunity to be in the main event, one of the main events of Revelations last year. On a good cause, to give it to Faith Connors, if you all remember. One of the most noble acts we remember. And I remember this image from last year's Revelations because it was quite disturbing. How did she get repaid for that at last year's Revelations? I believe she was in a multi-woman match for, it was either the Rising Star or FIFA Championship. But the last image I remember of Nillan on that night at Revelation 6 was being laid out backstage by a mystery woman who we still never found out who that was. You know, same which what happened to Faith. That has to burn in Nillan's mind. Nillan's got a lot of proof, and I think she wants to put a definite better image on herself. So because of that, Nillan, I knew.
Okay.
We now move on to another title match, and this one, very interesting. For me, ladies and gentlemen, I have called it a strong style sympathy. Destiny Championship Alliance, pure championship on the line. The TCW Asterix legend, the Darkside Shogun Kenshin, challenges the current DCA Pure Champion, who is also defending a Revelation streak. He is known as Mr. Revelations, Takura Yukimura, or one of the men you can have with that acclaim. Who leaves DCA Pure Champion? Jason Brown.
Kenshin, hell of a legend. When he came back to DCA, I was real excited and everything like that. And he's had some phenomenal matches. Former Celestial champion. He's gone to war with this gentleman right next to me, Malik Brown, and probably one of the best matches I've seen, out that year. And but when you said that right there, Takura Yukimura being one of the Mr. Revelations, Takura has always showed up, and he has just been. He always comes in these shows with that confidence, with that will, that drive, that determination to walk out with that W. And when it has come to that title, that pure championship, I think there's no one more synonymous with that championship than Takeru. He has been that title. He has been the division. And Kenshin, hell of a legend. Hell of a wrestler. But Takeru will walk out and still DCA pure champion.
Robert McNichol, you are up next.
Hit Kid, you said the phrase nail on the head. This is going to be nothing short than a Japanese strong style, beautiful match. This is going to be something that you would just see at an art gallery, sipping cognac on a bench. How beautiful this is going to be in its violence. Because both these men are just legends in their own right in virtual wrestling. Okay? Kenshiro, a legend already in his own time when he was a part of TCW Asterisks. Okay? And of course, Takeru, who's a legend in his own right here in DCA. It's going to be back and forth, honestly. And I'd never thought I would say this, but I feel like these two are going to throw everything at each other. We might actually have, if the rule still applies, we might actually have to go to a 5-minute overtime between these two. And if that goes that way, I'm going with Takeru, because Takeru is Mr. Revelations, and he's been that, and these last few matches he's had with this championship has been proven that statement.
Malik, you know these two men very well, as I've already said, for one match here, but you know these two men, a bit similar to Morgan and Barbie, but just I'm on the men's side.
Yes, I have shared a locker room, a car, and a ring with Kenshin and Takeru. I've had matches with both of these men. I fought them, and I know what they can do. For Kenshin, I will say, ever since he's reinvented himself as the Dark Side Shogun, he's been And ever since True One Pro, he has been on this resurgence, and he's hit another. He's been hitting all other levels. And Takeru, ever since he got that pure title back, he has been a unstoppable force, and he has so much to prove because I could see it in his eyes. The way Takeru feels right now, he's got one thing on his mind, and he wants to get back to where he was a couple of years ago. He wants to get back into that top position. He wants to be the world champion again. And he wants to be the world champion while being undefeated. So the way I see it, this is going to be a hard-hitting match. This is going to be exactly what everybody thinks. When you think of Pure Isu, when you think of strong style, when you think of what you see Japanese wrestling to be, you're going to see it in this matchup. But I'm going to say, and still, Takeru Yukimura.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a sweep.
Another sweep.
I think of factors for this for me. One, Takeru has been so clutch at Revelations. He survived he survived when it was, I believe, when he had the Pure Championship the first time. He survived an 8-man match. You know, an 8-man Pure Survival match to retain the title. This is a man who has been in the main event of Revelations. Doomsday Chamber. He even saved this company before it fell to the rebellion at Revelations 4, the very first Revelations I called. And Kenshin is a legend. Kenshin is a legend. This is a man who I've seen go to war with Hijo de Reyes, BB Disco, Rocky Blade. The Rocky Blade match in particular, I remember that. I believe it was at TCW's biggest show. It was a no-holds-barred war. And that was one of the most violent matches in TCW history, which Malik can attest to. But this is Revelations, and this is, for me, in my opinion, there are two people on the entire DCA roster who really click into a sub-7, like when you're on a boss level, if you get where I'm coming from, and then you find out it's like you need a contra code to beat them. Yes, I even brought up a contra reference. That is what Takeru Yukimura is at Revelations. Kenshin gives it hell. I have this going to overtime. I think this definitely goes past the 30-minute time limit. But Takeru clutches up and pins Kenshin within the overtime. And still, DCA Pure Champion.
It's gonna be one hell of a war for that Pure Championship. And honestly, all of us is not gonna miss it, honestly. We're gonna be like kids, honestly. You know what? I don't care.
Speaking of wars and personal,
And I believe this is also
there's
the main event.
nothing pure. Yeah, this is the main event of night one. There is nothing pure about this. This is hatred. This is revenge. This is payback. And this is so much more. And this has been an issue for a year and a half now, since DCA Gateway to Heaven of, last year. We have stipulations on this bout. The main one being, if James Needham wins, he gets 5 minutes alone in the ring with DCA Takedown General Manager Chris McLean. It is James Needham versus Chef Hatchet. I am obviously saving myself for last year because you know what I'm about to say about this. Jason Brown, start us off on this one.
This is no holds barred, right?
I do believe so. Needham, my brother did make the challenge.
Right.
And I'll be very surprised if there's a rule book for this bout.
All right. So I'm not really going to go into any background, like everything that has lead up to this match, because I believe when we get around the table, I believe we're gonna hear a lot of that. So I'm just gonna try to just focus on the two men at hand. When we saw Chef Hatchet, make his quote unquote in-ring debut, it was against Jax, and it was a message sent to your brother, because Who is Jax associated with?
Associated with Ratchet and Sly, 1/3 of the. Well, we only have one PlayStation All-Star now standing, and that's because of Chef Ratchet.
Yes.
And the other fucker.
Yes. But anyways, like I was saying, and Jax got dominated in that match, and Chef Hatchet he's a monster, over 7'4". This man, a former military man, this guy has seen war, literal war, and he decimated Jax. But I want to make something clear here, though. Jax, he was not prepared for that match. He had no idea that he was going to fight, Chef Hatchet. Also, not a guy who's known for, hardcore or no disqualification matches. Because, get it straight up what Chef was doing. He was just throwing them into everything. And then when you look at his opponent for this show, your brother, former Hell's Gambit champion, has been part of some of the most infamous death matches. I mean, think back to his match with Charles Schultz back in
CCL 2020.
One of the most. Holy fuck! Those two men tried everything to kill each other, and both men.
That went an hour. That went an hour, by the way.
That went an hour. And those two men bled for a fucking hour. Because I think within 5 minutes of the match, those two men were already gushing blood. And it's just... Chef, he's a monster. And he's a fucking brick wall. But you have to go with experience versus someone who's just, this is his second official match ever. Yes, he has the size and everything, but we've seen it in the past. Just because you're big doesn't mean shit. Old saying, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And your brother has been through, men who are huge. I mean, he fought Claudio. Somehow, after everything he went through in that match, after, having his guts spilled out on the floor, this guy is too stubborn to die. And he's experienced with these type of matchups. And I do give him the win. But I have my concerns about the afterwards. Not for the safety of McLean, because I could give a shit. But that bastard probably has something up his sleeve. But for this matchup right here between these two, James Needham wins.
Nicole, you're next.
I'm going to keep this short and sweet because Jason said everything I say. Hatchet's going to give Needham a pain in the ass all match long, but Needham is going to beat him, and then I don't know what trickery that skunk shit stained ass on the fucking whatever of society Chris McLean has up his sleeves, but for the next 5 minutes we get to enjoy James Needham tear him apart. And that's going to be my time just to enjoy seeing him get fucked.
Well, that's two. Now for what I will be bluntly honest, because I am most interested in this, might be the most interesting pick of maybe this entire Revelations match card. Malik, take it away.
Jason pretty much said what he had to say on that. I'm just going to put it like this. Yes, Needham has gone through hell. He has had many different matches. Your brother has had many matches where he has gushed blood for the sake of violence, for the sake of whatever was going on at that point. But I've also noticed one of the biggest things in James Needham's character has always been is that sometimes when he gets too blinded by his own anger, his own hatred, his own hubris costs him. So if he wants to beat Hatchet, if he wants to get his hands on Chris, the one thing Needham needs to do is to not let his hubris beat him. Will he beat Hatchet? Yes. He will go through hell and back just to beat Hatchet. But I don't know. I have a feeling that 5 minutes with Chris that people want is not going to be what people expect. I'm in that same category of he'll beat him. Barely. He'll beat him. But I still don't like what's going to happen afterwards because there are certain things that just seem a little too good to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go.
Go ahead, man.
Chris McLean is a fucking parasite. He's a fucking parasite. He is a fucking rotten human being. But you wanna know what's funny? He will laugh in my face because he'll admit to that. We've seen him admit it on her.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen so much chaos on the DCA takedown brand. Whether it's been blood trail running loose, whether it's been, one brawl after another brawl after another brawl.
Yep.
Chris just stays to the side, no real sanctions or anything, just stays to the side when it happens because the money is key for Chris. The cash is green in a sense. His vision is that dollar sign.
Yeah.
This all started at Gateway to Heaven 2020. Now, obviously, a lot of information has come out of this. It was a few weeks. It was, I believe, 2 months after, a month after, Needham had faced Charles in that Forsaken death match. Now, Needham had returned earlier on in the week. My brother had returned at a New Dawn Pro Chapter show where he defended his national title successfully. That same week, he was supposed to compete in the 2020 Gateway to Heaven to see who would go on to challenge at the time was Claudio Dragonheart for the DCA World Heavyweight Championship at Revelation 6. As we know, my brother never got in that match.
Nope.
Due to medical documents which turned out to be falsified due to GWM doctors, and originally, my brother thought it was Arkan. Because we all saw how Arkan, a lot of us thought it was Arkan. You all saw how Arkan bragged that he got in the match thanks to Chris.
Yeah.
As it turns out, it wasn't Arkan. It's a certain problem me and my brother have dealt with quite a lot with this year and are hoping to end soon. In Gnarly.
Fucking rat.
But Chris still accepted the deal.
Greedy.
And my brother has been spoken on Chris ever since. And we've seen Chris. Chris has tried to kill my brother. Redemption, let's be honest. Even though that had to be settled with Needham and Claudio. Chris put it in Claudio's backyard. I think Jason would agree with me on that. He put it right where Claudio would be most at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And on that night, Chris almost got his goal, which was to kill my brother. Because we all saw how the... All because Chris is worried about his own life. Look at the final aftershock we had before Endgame when Chris showed up in the Aftershock Asylum.
He actually admitted that he hates you and your brother.
He wanted our company to go under back at Endgame. That's why he had him and Krauser set up that attack on my brother. And they left my brother a bloody mess that night. And yet brother pulled through it at Endgame. Now he's gone to Chef Hatchet. The man, his right-hand man. The man he can trust the most. And yes, Hatchet will bring hell. Hatchet will bring hell. This is a monster. This is a monster. But this all comes down to survival. This goes... Hatchet's best chance in this match is to get Needham within the first 15 minutes. If Brother extends him past the 20 minutes, Brother wins this match. The key question is how much will be left of my brother after this encounter with Hatchet. Because I am backing him. Oh, too fucking right I'm backing him. Obviously, I mean, I had a broken leg because of a Chris McLean, distraction back at Crossfire. I want to see Chris in the ground more than anyone. I want to see him gone from this company. But obviously there's none of that. This is only to get his hands in the ring of him. So I hope my brother gets him in the ring and fucking hell puts him in the hospital for at least 6 months. But what Jason and Malik brought was good points. Chris will probably have something planned within those 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
This is survival to end night 1 of Revelations. My brother survives Hatchet. Will he survive the rest? Obviously, I don't like saying it like this. Makes me feel uncomfortable. But we will find out. But I do believe that makes it a sweep for the main event of night number 1.
All I can say is this. If Chris is listening, and I hope he is, I want you to listen to this, what I'm going to say, because you don't think he'll care. If James Needham could survive getting sliced in the stomach by a sword and getting nearly killed by Jack fucking Krauser to save his company, what tricks and plans do you have in that head of yours to keep him down? Because there's no way in hell.
Robert,
James
I'm going to say something.
Go ahead, Jason.
I'm going to say something. You're extremely underestimating that son of a bitch. You are. I know you. You really are. You have a lot. I understand you have a lot of confidence in Needham, but you need to stop that, man.
You're right. Because that son of a bitch is always.
Look. At the end of the day, whatever happens, happens. We just got to prepare for the worst.
Let me say this. There is a reason. Let me end this. There is a reason why I am the most reserved about this. And I want Chris dead more than anyone. You guys around this table know that. He fought with my company. He fucked me up. He's fought with a lot of things in my life. But I know that son of a bitch. Plans to go through that evil head. What will we see at the 7 Deadly Sin? We have to stay tuned and find out. Night 2. Night 2, where the major championships are on the line, where a lot of grudges need to be settled, and a lot of history could be made. Night 2 kicks off with the DCA Wildcats Tag Team Championships. The Ronaport Rebels of Kieva Andrews and Lacey Adams challenge the Black Plague Society of Alika Lynch and Delia. Who leaves Revelation 7 DCA Wildcats Tag Team Champions Jason Brown?
Oh boy. This entire situation with the Ronaport Rebels and the Black Plague Society. The Black Plague Society, which has been a fucking plague. But there's been a common theme when it's come to this Wildcats when it's come to the Wildcats tag team titles. And it's not the teams involved. There seems to be an outside factor that seems to help it lean into the Black Plague Society's favor. Now, this is the most interesting thing because, and yes, I'm saying this, Carmen Cortez is the reason why, the Black Plague Society are the tag team champions. And will she play a factor into this? Maybe not. But this is the most interesting thing is because we know the history Carmen has with the Ronaport Rebels. 2 women she has considered sisters. But her loyalty has been to the Black Plague Society. And yes, I know I'm going more about, Carmen than I am about these 2 teams. But it's just the fact that anytime the Black Plague Society is involved in anything, she seems to just pop up. Will she play a factor in this? Like I said, I don't know. But if she doesn't, and she doesn't lean towards any side, she doesn't come out to help either or, if anything, when it comes to sheer brutality, yes, the Black Plague Society are brutal. Devataki's brutal. Carmen's brutal. But when it's come to these two, I don't want to call them the weak links or anything like that. I'm not calling them weak links or anything. But their brutality isn't on the same level as Carmen and Devataki. I mean, these two are a deadly tag team, but the Ranapur Rebels are more deadly. And I'm thinking the Ranapur Rebels walk out Wildcats tag team champions.
Robert McNichol, who do you back?
As much as I want to see the Ranapur Rebels take a championship away from the Black Plague Society, unfortunately, I don't see it happening. It's going to be Delia and Lynch retaining because they've already injected their poison into the Ranapur family, and it's already affected everyone. And unfortunately, Carmen is in their heads, and it's going to be the Black Plague Society still running the Wildcats tag team division.
Malik, break the tie again. Hey, this is becoming a trend.
A lot of people think that Carmen is going to interfere or have something to do. That's what Jason thinks.
Yeah, only reason why is because it's just history recently.
True, it is history. But I'm going to be devil's advocate. I don't think Carmen's even going to step a foot in that. I don't even think Carmen's going to step a foot anywhere near that match. I don't think she's going to do anything in that match. I think the only thing that Carmen is going to interfere in is everybody's head. She doesn't even have to be there at this point, and she's not going to be anywhere near it. And I think people kind of severely underestimate Kiev and Lacey's mindset. Yeah, are they worried about Carmen? Yeah, yes. But they're not going to let what's going on get in their head, especially when they see two people they want to hurt in Delia and Alika. So I will say this. I do still see the Black Plague Society retaining, but I don't think it's going to be because of a Carmen interference, either mentally or physically. I think it's literally going to be because Alika and Delia are just going to be the better team that night.
I'm unfortunately leaving Jason on an island here. I'm going on still, and I really don't want to go on still in this. But this is my heart. This is my head going over my heart. We're all forgetting another X Factor in this. We're all talking about Carmen Cortez. That ain't even the X Factor I think we all should be talking about. I think, as much as I am going to hate talking about that match, Carmen's mind is focused on that one over match she's involved in later on this night.
Mm-hmm.
The X Factor right now is look at the numbers.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Black Plague Society still have 4, in a sense. Devataki is still working. She is still the current Scout Row Wrestling World Champion. Yeah. Carmen Cortez, we know, will be wrestling on the night. Alika Lynch and Delia are defending the World Tag Team titles. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ranapur Rebels are down to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Carmen's on the other side. And I hate to bring this up once again, but we all know what happened to the leader of the Ranapur Rebels. I've not heard anything of her. She's been in a hospital, fucking in intensive care since January. Since when that fucking machine, known as the TX, fucking jumped her and left her in a pool of her own blood in Las Vegas.
On your birthday.
Yeah, under her fucking watch. With one of her co-owners, one of her co-founders. And I know we did that behind this company's back, and I know we caused some controversy with that. But yeah, Revy hasn't been seen since then. We all know Devataki's looking. That's one of the major reasons why I'm going on still. The other major reason, ladies and gentlemen, it's been like a chess match all season. And I hate to say this, but look at Redemption, look at last year's revelations. Ladies and gentlemen, the Black Plague Society has always been one step ahead. And unfortunately, I hope to God I'm wrong. I think it will be the same here again. I'm going on still. DCA Wildcats Tag Team Champions. Alika Lynch and Delia.
There's another factor I just thought of. And it's something I've been fearing. Because the Black Plague Society has been getting into people's heads. There's someone else they got in the head too. And we haven't seen her in forever.
Nema.
And she was tempted by Devataki not too long ago.
Nema, Jason. That's what I'll say.
Maya. Where's she right? Where is she right now? Because remember Devataki. Remember what Devataki said to her. She's tempted her, and we haven't heard from anything from Maya since. I always believe Maya has a strong mindset and everything, but she has never gone this quiet this long.
Hold on, I just got a text.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead.
Found who I was looking for. Keep you posted, Maya.
Not that. Well, that adds to it, if I'm allowed to say it live on air. Good Lord Almighty.
I also.
Go ahead, Malik.
I also feel like with Jason, I get where you're coming from, but allow me to speak about this. If Maya's quiet, it's not because of what Devataki may or may not have said. Because there's one thing I know. Even though Maya hates my goddamn guts and she's never liked me, I've known Maya just as much as I've known Carmen. You can say that Maya has always been the foundation, truly the foundation for a lot of things. If anything, I wouldn't listen to a damn thing Devataki says, especially when it comes to Maya saying I tempted her. To me, that's just a ploy of Devataki fucking with people's heads because she just lives to bring some sort of misery. If Maya is involved, it won't be in that match. It'll be involved in something, but not in that match.
Okay.
I'm going.
Maya, if you're watching, I'm deeply sorry. I'm sorry.
I hope we're gonna move on. I hope I knew, but I fear I'm still. That's all I will say. Now this one should be most interesting. We got a clash of two experienced veterans, two of the most experienced men in all of core wrestling. DCA Celestial Championship. The challenger, one of the co-founders of the legitimate wrestling movement. You could say the figurehead of the VWA, which, by the way, shout out to Rated. He is coming back, as we all know.
That's fantastic.
You know that is something which can be happening in the future. Kenzo as the challenger. The champion! In the Soldier, DCA Day One, Atlas Jones representing Black November. Who leaves this match? DCA Celestial Champion, gentlemen. Jason Brown, go ahead.
I'm going to make it short and sweet. I'm saying Atlas. The reason why is, ever since, he won that title, Atlas has been on a whole new level. And, in Kenzo, he's a great talent. Great fucking talent. But right now, Atlas has been in the best physical shape he's been in a long time. He's in the best, psychological mindset in a very fucking long time. He's walking out still the DCA Celestial Champion, and I'm predicting he's going to hold that belt for a good fucking while.
Nickel, to you.
I have to agree with Jason. Atlas has worked too damn hard and too damn long to lose this Celestial title this soon. I mean, it took a literal talking from another Black November member just to help get him back into who he is in the Soldier.
The first ever DCA World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah. And credit to Kenzo. He's going to be a great competitor, but it's not yet. He's not ready yet. I'm saying Atlas is going to show why he still is the Soldier and the man here in the Destiny Championship Alliance.
Malik.
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Atlas.
Sweep, ladies and gentlemen. Sweep. Kenzo.
I'm also saying that because I'm petty. Kenzo, you ducked a match for me, you son of a bitch.
Woo! I love that. Can I say that is an official challenge, if I'm allowed to say it? You know what?
I'm just saying.
Can I say something? I'll look up something.
Look, all I'm saying is this: I made my career and legacy by being the hardest working man in virtual wrestling. I didn't have to ride the coattails of Corey Jones to be considered somebody. I'm just
Shots fired.
I know we've got Prestige coming up in summer, but I don't care even if it's not at Prestige. Give me that match on a future VW event, or hell, make it the season. What would it be? Season 8 kickoff of DCA next year. Please, whoever is listening, please make that match. I am going sweep. Atlas Jones has been on a whole nother level since, he's winning the Celestial title. Remember, he put the Prince of Death, Saya Steel, and that's no easy thing considering what Saya Steel has done this year.
Oh, yeah.
Kenzo is a great striker, great wrestler, but Atlas powers through. Atlas Jones leaves, and still DCA Celestial Champion. Oh boy, this one we're going to lead off with Jason, and Jason can go into the most detail. Ladies and gentlemen, this is for a heavyweight championship. So, an Impact Unleashed World Heavyweight Championship. Claudio Dragonheart, Asani. May Lord have mercy on the arena. Jason Brown, go ahead.
When we started, off night 2, there was one person we brought up a lot, and that was Carmen. And one person that's had Carmen on their mind for over a year and a half is her husband. I mean, we all remember what, and people have seen it. People have seen it. Derek Owens, even he pointed it out. He saw it. He saw that Claudio wasn't that man that he's known to be. That he hasn't been the Dragon King. And when Asani attacked him after that match with Owens, and Claudio hesitated with the TKB, and pretty much damaged his right eye by jamming his thumb not once but twice, and has damaged his eye. Mm-hmm. He pretty much left Claudio in a mess.
He did.
But with that being said, Asani essentially fucked himself over. Because Claudio's been gone for a while. And I know exactly where he's been. He's been meditating. He's been training. Mm-hmm. And from what Annie and the rest of the family have told me, He's even bigger. And there's something even else about him, but they told me not to tell anyone, and I'm not going to tell anyone. People have been wondering: is Claudio still the Dragon King? Is he still the Dova King? Well, Asani, you made a huge mistake because you went for the eye of a dragon. You didn't go for the head. Claudio Dragonheart is going to defeat Asani.
It's gonna be something you do not want to miss. And Asani, you kicked the hornet's nest when you went for the eye of Claudio. Problem is, you didn't finish the job, big man. And all that talk from your manager, unfortunately, has made your bed. Come Revelations, the Dovahkiin comes home, and he's taking that sudden impact Unleashed championship from you, even if he's got to rip it from your cold, dead hands.
Well, that makes 2 for our new Malik. Go ahead.
You know, I look at this match as a test. Test for both people. I look at this match as a test for Asani to not fall or fail the same way that many others before him has failed. Like Casey Gordon and even Tyson Jackson, to an extent Darren Payne. Because the thing about, and I've noticed this weird ass pattern, every time the real big dude comes in, he starts getting himself some leeway, he starts submitting his status, it takes another one to take him down. Now Asani established himself by taking out 2 big issues in Tyson and Darren. And Machiavelli brought that Sudden Impact Unleashed title back, in which, Sudden Impact Unleashed is back. For Claudio, it is, let me get back to where I need to be. Let me get back to where I should be. I love my wife, but I can't worry about her right now. Not with what's going on, not with what I need to be. I think Claudio understands that he needs to be a pillar. And for Claudio, this is a moment of, fuck it, I am the Dragon King, I still am the Dova King. He better understand that. I'm telling him now, I know you are. So the way I see it, it's going to be an intense match. It's probably going to be one of Claudio's toughest challenges because Asani is going to catch him off guard. And I think a lot of people, including a lot of fans and some people in the back kind of low-key underestimates what Asani can do. And they kind of underestimate that he's not some one-trick pony with size being his big thing. He's just he can roll with Claudio in terms of power, strength, speed, finesse, athleticism, whole nine. So this is Claudio's biggest challenge. But I do see it that Claudio's going to come out the winner.
This is a sweep. Asani is a freak. Much to Malik's point, it ain't just all about power. We have seen this man put down Darren Payne. We've seen this man put down Bronson. And that hasn't just been through outpowering him. Oh, no. That has been through speed and athleticism. That has been through agility. That fucking moonsault he does, guys, is one of the scariest sights you could see in all of Virtual Wrestling United. But he angered the king. He angered the Dova King. I think what Jason said is so right. He took his eye, not his head. When you get someone down, I have always said this, if your intention is to put someone out of this business for a couple of months or, You know, to put them out so they're not in your way for a while. Put them out permanently. All Asani did was wound Claudio. That's pissed Claudio off, made him more determined, more angry, and dare I say even more deadly. Claudio Dragonheart, in my opinion, waved the voices himself to the Sudden Impact Unleashed World Heavyweight Championship. That's a sweep, which I was not expecting to say, but...
And if he does win this, because the Sudden Impact World title is classified as a world title, correct?
It is.
Yes.
Claudio will be a 5-time world champion.
So there's history on the line for Claudio. On that next, this one's going to be interesting. And this match could not be for the CCL World Championship. It depends, on whatever happens with Jamal and his, fucking world tour. And we say that a lot, if I'm allowed to say it. It is a 30-minute Ironman match. Jamal Bedlam versus AJ Young. At the moment, I do believe the CCL World title is set to be on the line. Note, that could change. But a lot of personal beef behind this, and a lot of, in my opinion, I think someone's facing a proving ground. Jason Brown, who wins the 30-minute Ironman match?
This right here, we all know, the rumors have been going around that AJ's on his way out pretty soon. Multiple time world heavyweight champion. Will go down as probably one of the most infamous wrestlers in Call Wrestling. One of the most slimy, underhanded, backstabbing assholes in the business. But there's a reason why, he is a multiple time world heavyweight champion. Because he's smart. And Jamal Bedlam, probably the best hybrid athlete. And not just VW, not just call All Stars, but in wrestling in general. We talk about Asani being a freak. Jamal is a fucking freak. This man has done things you never would expect someone his size would do. This man has done a moonsault off of a fucking ladder to the outside onto Cumber, onto the Yellow Devil. He's a freak. He is, quote unquote, I want to say this, he is a machine. But the main story going into this match is, this is what, the third matchup in DCA between these two, correct?
Yeah.
Yep. And Jamal has never beat AJ.
He's never beat AJ. And here's the thing, AJ made this perfectly clear. These are the last 30 minutes Jamal will ever get with AJ Young. Because after this, AJ has made it perfectly clear, him and Jamal are never fighting again. So
Win, lose, or draw.
Win, lose, or draw. And AJ very confidently has said, I'm going to beat Jamal Bedlam, and Jamal Bedlam will have to live with that for the rest of his career, that he could never beat AJ Young. And that right there, that confidence, that AJ Young, cockiness, I think that right there might have screwed him over more than he thinks. Because when Jamal Bedlam is faced with a task that seems impossible, Jamal Bedlam reaches down deep inside of himself, and he's able to pull out some of the most unhuman of athletic moves. The most, his heart, when his heart gets into a match, when his heart and his head they sync up, Jamal Bedlam is nearly unstoppable. AJ Young, he's gonna do every fucking thing he can to try to win here. And I think it's going to go down to the final second. Either it's 0-0 or 100-100. Those final few seconds, I'm predicting Jamal will do what it's necessary, get the job done, and he will finally beat AJ Young.
Robert McNichol, over to you.
This is going to be something crazy. We might even have our own version of Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels back at WrestleMania 12 in 1996. Because even though it is a 30-minute Iron Man match, I say it's going to come down to the wire. Just like Jason said, it's going to be nil. It's going to be 0-0, going all the way down to the last 5 minutes. And I'm going to go with Jason. Jamal can and always will be finds a way to keep this to hit another gear, and he will leave finally defeating AJ Young.
Malik.
You can only be lucky for so damn long in your career until that luck runs out. I know AJ pretty much probably was. Excuse me. I know AJ in the back of his head feels like he just wants to probably ride off in the sunset knowing that he got one over Jamal Bedlam. Nah. I guess it's going to be another sweep because I also got Jamal. Jamal's been working too damn hard. And dare I say he's been working a hell of a lot harder than AJ himself. So I say Jamal.
All right.
I also have it as a sweep, ladies and gentlemen. Jamal Bedlam is too determined. And here's the thing. Don't ever tell Jamal he can't do something. Don't ever tell him that. Because when Jamal hears that he can't do something, guess what? He goes out there.
He ends up doing it.
He ends up doing it.
Just to spite us. Yeah.
Just to spite people, yeah. Jamal is that bad of a man. And not only that, Jamal has a lot more to gain out of this, and a lot more to lose. The pressure's on Jamal. But if there is something we have seen, Jamal Bedlam under big match situations, ladies and gentlemen, pressure makes the savage. It doesn't break him. Jamal Bedlam wins the Iron Man match. And I actually think this doesn't go to overtime. I think he beats him within the 30. I think Jamal wins this decisively. By 2 falls. Now, this next bout is going to be interesting. And I'm going to do it a bit different here. It is Team Blood Trail versus Team Principle. This is a 4-on-4 elimination match. So an 8-man tag elimination match. Jariah Raju captains Team Blood Trail. Michael Connolly captains Team Principle. Now, I'm going to ask the gentlemen around the table 2 things. 1, name me a winner. And 2, name me some of the participants you can expect on both teams. Jason Brown, go ahead.
Holy hell, this is one of the matches where I'm just like, oh god, this could go either way. Because the principal has, pretty much that principle. Hardworking, doing it by the book, but also knowing when where they have to go that extra mile. Especially when in a war with an entity that is the Blood Trail. This is going to come down, because here's the thing. These two fought. Michael beat Jariah. And if anything, he beat Jariah definitively. I don't think in a one-on-one matchup, Jariah could ever stand a chance against Michael. I'm just saying. But he has 3 other factors with him. And there's a lot there's a lot that you know there's a lot that could play a factor in here. And here's the thing: we don't know how deep the blood trail goes. Yeah, we've seen the current members and everything, and you know, in Malik, I'm pretty sure you can definitely confirm that there's much more than what we have seen. It does come to the fact down to that factor is it's not who Jiraiya is gonna pick. It's what the true heads of the blood trail are gonna pick. As far as the blood trail goes, the 3 other members are gonna be people we've never seen before. As far as the principal goes, I'm predicting Takuma because he is part of the principal, and he's probably, you know, a guy who survived not once but twice the GWM exam. Now, you know, we can shit on the GWM all we want, but that exam, you know what the exam is? You go through the most snowiest of mountains, known as Tiger Mountain, one of the most dangerous mountains in the world, and nothing but your underwear. You traverse that mountain, climb that mountain with nothing but your underwear till you get to the very top to the GWM building. Takuma did that twice. Now, as far as the other 2 factors go, I mean, I'm not because here's the thing with both teams, they're going to keep this under wrap as much as possible. But I wouldn't be surprised if one of the guys sitting at this table is on that team, and who's a former world champion. I think that's all I need to say. He's going to be might be a part of that. And the third person, hell, they might call upon the Eye of Truth, Bronson. So the winner here, I honestly can't even say because there's so many factors that could play into this. And I don't want to go with the blood trail, but it's just that fucking fact that there's some that I know deep down inside they have something more deadly just waiting. But I just can't pick the blood trail. I'm going with the principal.
Robert has had to step out for a phone call, so we will go straight to Malik Brown.
On the blood trail, Jason's right. It's not going to be who Jiraiya picks. It's going to be what Kenshiro and the others pick. As for who Jiraiya, so who the people on the blood trail are going to be. Jiraiya obviously is the team leader. I already know. I have a feeling. I know that Caden is going to be one of the members for the blood trail. Hell, he might just call Vincent to bring him in as well. Who knows? As for the principal, when you have Michael, yes, Takuma, hell, for all I know, he might pull out somebody from the Eye of Truth. He might even get me. Who knows? I mean, I haven't gotten a phone call yet, but hell, anything can happen. But it's the unpredictability of it all. And it's hard to say. It really is. Unless something happens it's going to be a war. But I think I might have to take it to the principal. And I only say this depending if the principal pick the right people and the blood trail make a flaw.
Can I be honest? This is a match of mystery. This is a match of enigma, okay? There's a lot... Because this is the match with the most unknowns going into it at Revelations, okay? Because we don't know 6 of the participants in it. This is... And that makes it quite easily one of the hardest matches to pick. Because you don't know who's on whose team. Now, I have a feeling with the Team Blood Trail. And I'll ask this to Jason and Malik. I have a feeling Kenshiro won't send himself to do this dirty work. He may, but I have a feeling he may have eyes on other aspects of this Revelations weekend. I want your 2 opinion on that. Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I honestly don't see Kenshiro getting his hands dirty in this matchup, because this is still part of a war, but this is a battle, and probably in Kenshiro's eyes, this isn't a major battle where he needs to step in.
It's in a battle where a general can fall, in a sense, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Which Kenshiro is. So I look at the soldiers. I look at who I think could fill out each team. I think Caden Monroe. I know Malik. You had a talk with him. How many takedowns ago was it? And I know you planted that seed in his head. I can't remember. Was it a talk or was it more of a face to face? Because I remember calling it with Jason.
Yeah, when you confronted Caden.
Yeah.
It was a face-to-face.
Just a face-to-face?
Just face-to-face. No words were exchanged.
No idea.
Because fully understandable. No. Caden will probably be on Team Blood Trail. I think they will call Vincent up. As much as we hate that motherfucker, I think it's very expected Vincent will be called up. The question with Team Blood Trail is who's going to be that 4th man. Could be a member of Hatred. Could be a member of the Syndication. Could be completely someone brand fucking new. That is something to keep an eye out for. That could be a game changer which, let's be honest, none of us in Virtual Wrestling United are ready for. Team Principal, I agree with Jason. I think 2 of the confirmed entries, well, we know Michael's confirmed. I think another confirmed entry will be Takuma. I have 3 possible names which can fill out Team Principal. But there's already 2 spots taken, okay? Name 1. I think the Eye of Truth route, if Caden Monroe is in this match, is a good route to go down. Considering we've seen a blood feud develop between Stephen Sane and Caden Monroe. That has been going on for a couple of months now, if I'm allowed to be honest. We know practically, and this might be all Battle Pro history here, Malik. You may be more attest to this. Stephen and Caden are ready to tear each other's heads off. Like, those 2 men are ready to, try and kill each other. Another name, and I'm going to think...
Along the lines of Caden.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't think it's of the lines they want to tear each other's heads off. I think it's more along the lines of Caden just doing what he was told to do, and Steven just wanting to pay him back for interfering in his own affairs. It's gonna be a difficult thing for both of them, considering that brotherhood, but by any means necessary by both of them.
Very fair. I think the other 2 names I've got might surprise you. Name number 1, Travis Touchdown. We already know Gene is with, the female side of the principal. We know the principal wanted to get Gene back in contract with Travis Touchdown. With her brother, Travis. Because of that, I wonder if Travis picks up the sword here, does Travis, and he goes into battle with Takuma and Michael. I could see it. The other name might be the wild card out of all of them. I see Charles getting involved in this. Considering he is being, taunted, annoyed, he suffered from near enough all the splinter groups of the Blood Trail. Syndication, hatred, he suffered through it. Blood Trail has made his life a living hell. I think it's between those three men to join Takuma and Michael on who completes Team Principal. But when it comes to the match, and yes, I want the Principal to fucking win, I will be dead clear. Obviously, we all want the Principal to win. I fear for that fourth man. I don't know who the fourth man is. Honestly, maybe I don't want to know. But I think this will come down to one-on-one, and I fear that fourth man survives for the Blood Trail. I'm taking Team Blood Trail. And that makes me sick. So I can't go clean sweep as much as I want to. And that really harkens back, to what we said over the night one main event. Between my brother and Chris. Because I think we would all agree. Kanshiro's probably got more than one battle plan going into this match. Not just his 4 soldiers. I mean, it has been what to expect from the Blood Trail all year. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, they seem to have backups for backups.
Yeah. So that's why I cannot go sweep. I have to unfortunately go Team Blood Trail. And I beg that I'm wrong. Oh dear God. Next up, this... we welcome back Robert McNichol, by the way.
Sorry about that, gentlemen. Had to take a phone call.
Yeah, quickly, because we just moved on from it. Team Blood Trail, Team Principal. We'll let you answer.
As my heart wants the Principal and Michael Conley to stick it to the Blood Trail, I think Jason and Malik said it best. We still haven't seen the Blood Trail's big moves yet. And we might be seeing them pull out one in this match. And it's going to be the Blood Trail.
So that means a split.
Yeah.
Because I went Team Blood Trail as well, as much as I don't want to. Anyway. Time for unholiness. Oseko Takina.
Oh, God.
I don't even know where to begin on this. We have seen what Takina has done with a fucking nail bat. Redemption, and then Gateway to Heaven of Faith Connors. Oseko has years and years and has practically been through it all, seen it all. But I don't know if she's seen anything like this. Thoughts, feelings, whatever the fuck the result of this. Jason, go.
This is not going to be a match with a winner and a loser. This match is going to be someone who survives and a corpse. Because, unfortunately, this might go down to that. Where someone dies.
Oh, God.
Because that thing has tried to kill Oseko more than once. Basically, nearly did if it wasn't for Melina. That thing is unhuman. I don't really think that thing's even alive. Is that just a walking corpse that does not know when to die? Is that thing... Would you even call it a corpse? Is it a demon now? What is it?
I don't know.
What the fuck is that thing?
I don't know.
But, with that being said, Oseko's a remarkable woman. She's an anime protagonist. I'm just going to say it like that. somehow, some way, and this is going to be probably a match where we're just going to be. I don't even think this is even going to take place in the arena. Somehow these two are going to will teleport somewhere and just, I don't know, a different dimension or something like that. Something's going to freaky's going to happen. But I think Osaka will do what she needs to do, and she will defeat this whatever.
Well, I'm sorry. I can't pick because this match, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. It's not on my conscience. I can't. I'm sorry.
Understandable. Malik, go ahead.
I have had my fair share of dealing with monsters and soulless husks. And I bet Oseko has faced many a demons in her lifetime. The way I see it, this is going to be a battle that is going to test her mentally, physically, and spiritually. But I have Oseko winning.
My one thought going into this match is please God make sure that please God Oseko come out alive at the end of this. That has been my one thought whenever I have been thinking about this. Entirely, I have been thinking that thought. Please, for the love of God, let Oseko come out of this living. Legitimately, this thing known as Takina almost killed her at Redemption. She stuck a nail bat in her head, for fuck's sake. I think we all know how deadly that is. Can we agree?
Mm-hmm.
That almost killed her. And then, what she did to Faith, we saw the way she left Faith Connors back at Gateway to Heaven. We've not seen or heard of Faith, since then. Kina is unholy, is a demon. But Oseko's dealt with demons and dealt with darkness. I think it's something we see a lot of Oseko make mention of. And I know I'm going personal shit in, and I do apologise. We know how Oseko's family has drawn, to be, the woman to be. Okay? I'm not on about, the family she's raised with Michael. I'm on about, her parents and everything. Something which cuts deep with Oseko, as we all know. She's been through that experience. That's what's going to help her survive this. Oseko wins. By any means necessary. Oh boy. Well, I'm going last on this one. Speaking of any means necessary, I have a feeling this could lead to quite a long discussion. Last! And by the way, we should mention Robert McNichols had to step out. He has been called to a meeting. Last Wildcat standing. Oh, fuck. Carmen Cortez, Mari Pan. Jason, just go. Just go.
This. Oh, god damn. Everything that's leading up to this match, and even stuff beforehand, it's just there's something that's just not right. And I remember you and me were talking about something, Malik. It was one of her more recent videos, and it's something you heard when she was speaking Spanish, because I think what we seem to forget, or we're not really taking into consideration, is not what she's saying in English. I know she's saying something different in Spanish. There's something not right. Stuff that just doesn't add up. You know, we've all been worried about this. We've all been concerned about this. We've all been. I know Annie and her family. You know, Annie will not stop until she can get to Carmen. This entire situation, I take no, and I don't want to offend you, I don't want to offend you with this at all.
Go ahead.
Mari's a fantastic wrestler. She's an amazing wrestler. But this Carmen Cortez, I just don't know. If there's one factor in this match that, if it happens, Mari's out of it. It's that fucking punt. I really don't know what else more to say. I mean, there's just maybe Malik can clear some stuff up, but oh god damn, I don't want to get emotional or anything like that. God damn it.
Take a drink, my friend.
Take a walk.
But
Take a drink. Take a walk.
Go take a walk.
I had to go with Carmen. God damn it.
Malik, your turn.
The way I see it, it can go one or two ways. I know Jason deep down wants to say Carmen because of how Carmen's been, and he's looking at it like everyone else is looking at it. Yet I know deep down you want Mari to win for very personal reasons. The way I see it, it goes one of two ways. If Mari doesn't make the same mistakes as everyone else has ever made when they've had Carmen in a match this past year, if she doesn't make those same mistakes, if she doesn't lose herself and her emotions, Mari has a chance of winning. Because I'm going to be the one person to say Mari can do it. But she has to not fall into that same trap everyone else falls into. Don't try to play the pissed bitch game with somebody like Carmen. Don't try to play that game of I will make you miserable like you make me miserable. Don't ever play a game with somebody like that who's already in the mindset she's in. If she doesn't play Carmen's game, she'll win. But if she falls, then Carmen's got her. Plain and simple. That's how I see it.
You know, this match is hard to talk about on my end due to numerous personal reasons. Okay.
We know.
Obviously, one is my relationships with one of the competitors. But actually, let me be honest, relationships with both these women. From a business and friendship with Carmen till, everyone knows about me and Mari. I watched the video Carmen Cortez said. The Road to Revelations video.
Yeah.
And I fully understand where Jason's coming from. That ain't the Carmen Cortez I knew. It's a completely different human being. It really is. And I know I got heat on Twitter. Well, me and my brother got heat because we said a joint statement where we said, in a sense, Carmen needs to be put out of her misery to save herself. She needs to... And I know we went far on this because I remember Claudio going fucking mad at us. Where we said she needs to die to be alive again. Because that's what it seems with Carmen Cortez. It seems like she wants someone to pull the fucking trigger at her fucking head. But you made a great point, Malik. You said emotions and trap. I think the trap's already been played. I think it was played last episode of Wildcats. There's a reason why I wanted to fucking walk out and not even get my paycheck at the end of that, go home episode of Wildcats. When Mari said the words last Wildcat standing, she fell for Carmen's trap. And let me be clear, I hope to fucking God I'm wrong. I want to be fucking wrong. All of me wants to be fucking wrong. Because after the shit Carmen said, and the way Carmen has been, and after the shit she's pulled, obviously I would love it if this goes the other way. I mean the fucking pot shot she took at me, blaming me for fucking Nally and all that, but it's not about me. It's about these two. But Carmen likes to make it about everyone. This is one where, I said it before, heart over head. My heart is with Mari, my soul is with Mari, I'll say it. Because that's familia, that's family. Something which I think Carmen Cortez has lost the meaning of. But the head is with Carmen. This is her match. Look what she's done to many people. Look, I remember the last time she was in this match, look what she did to Keita Young. I don't want to call this match, but I have to be there and watch it. If you get where I'm coming from. So I hope I'm wrong. I want Mari to put her down. But Carmen Cortez. Logic says Carmen Cortez wins this. Fucking hell. Anyone want any final comments on that match before we move on?
I'll just say this. If you really knew what she was saying, like really listened to her on that one when she drove around Steelport. She was near the docks. I don't think you would be making the statement you said when it came to Familia. I know what she said. Am I going to say it here? No. And there's reasons I won't say it. I'll just leave it at that.
No, that's totally fair. I'm just looking at it from the outside looking in, if you get where I'm coming from. You know it better than even me, okay?
Yeah. Also, I'm going to throw this out here. This is the third year. Third year in a row Carmen had this match.
Yeah, experience. That's another factor.
So the way it looks, it is the both of you for Carmen, and I am neutral.
That's fair. Well, let me be clear. Carmen in head only, okay? I'll make that fucking clear.
There's something that has to be...
Biggest fucking asterisk behind the Carmen pick ever, and that's just the truth, okay? But we gotta move on. I believe we've got 3 more matches to talk about.
Yeah.
And this one is as much an enigma as any match on the card. This one has a whole lot of factors going into it. DCA Goddess Championship. Akira Yukimura versus Akechi Onajo. For me, there is a hell of a lot going on here. We have no fucking clue where it's going. No fucking answers. And I hope this answers it. So with that, let's try and figure this mess out. Jason Brown.
I mean, I think I'm the last person who should ever try to solve a mystery like this. But
well, I've been doing it in order, so you're first up tonight.
I know. But it's just like Akira's gone MIA again. And we recently saw, in her Road to Revelations video, she was confronted by someone who pretty much told Akira a lot of truths. And you know, in this issue with her and Akechi and everything like that, it's just there's so many factors in this match. Some shit we don't even know. And it's like Akechi, her mind's perfectly clear. She knows her objective. Kira though, it's this is just. I want to say more, but I really can't think of anything more to say. It's just I can't pick. I'm sorry, I just can't pick.
Fully understandable. Malik?
This is a situation where I'm gonna be honest, this isn't nothing new on Akira's end. She's been in this situation before. 9 times out of 10, she has fought her own demons and she's come out victorious. Other times, she has fallen to her demons and she's found herself on the losing end. When it comes to Akechi and Akira, I think this is just another piece of this enigmatic puzzle that is Akira Yukimura's life that I don't think a lot of us are ever going to unravel, and I think this is one of those things that I think it should stay raveled, because I don't think any of us are going to enjoy the truth, or in some cases we won't be able to handle it. But as for Akechi and Akira, the way I see it, I guess I'm being a realist in this. I guess I'm being a hopeless romantic in this sense of I can believe in the idea of overcoming any mental barrier, but I have Akira. My word may not mean anything, but I have Akira.
I just wonder what the outside factors are going to be. Because here's the thing, we've got some outside factors in this. First, we've got the principle. We know Akechi originally came in with a blood trail, although we feel like she's a separate entity completely, okay? But we don't fully know.
She was never a thing for the blood trail.
But at first people thought that, if you remember.
True.
The other entity to consider in this, and I think it's the most important entry, is I always pronounce the name wrong. Senior, Aki Starlight, and Almby Martin. Which we have seen for months now. That is an entity to consider going into this match. I think we could all agree at this table. Consider this has been a yearly story. I don't know how that entity gets involved in this, but you just have a full feeling that they will get involved in this somehow. And that could lead to chaos, that could lead to something. When it comes to the wrestling aspect to this, because we're talking more about what these two could do supernaturally and unholy, in a sense, we're not sure. But when it comes to the wrestling, this will be Akechi Onajo's second bout, in a sense. Remember, she had that exhibition with Trixie. And hell, Trixie could be a factor in this. Although Trixie's got the Wildcats title, which I believe we'll be getting onto next to focus on. But here's the truth. We only saw Akechi for 10 minutes, but we could tell Akechi is highly skilled in everything. Akira Yukimura we have seen for years, and we have seen what Akira Yukimura is all about. This event we thought has broken her, but last year it made her when she beat Oseko in that classic. And if I had to go on my heart, that was her first ever Revelations win, by the way. Akira, for this event, has one of the worst records in it. 1-4. But I think she finds a way here. I think she goes 2-4. I've got Akira Yukimura retaining. But I don't even know if the story will be the match, what happens post-match, what happens pre-match over this. That's how crazy this Goddess title match can be. Co-main event time. DCA Wildcats Championship. Slated at the moment to be a triple threat match. Obviously, we know there is an X factor depending on the condition of the champion. Amber Stevens, if she is there, will defend against Trixie Decker and Sakura Hagiwara. Who leaves Revelation 7 Wildcats champion? Jason Brown, go ahead.
$1,000,000 question. Who's walking out as Wildcats champion? It could be... And we don't even know if this is going to be one-on-one or a triple threat, considering we don't know Amber's condition. Though, knowing Amber's mindset and how stubborn she can be, I think somehow she's going to make her way back into this. But with that being said, don't know what her condition is. You know, we've seen it in the past with people, you know, coming back too early from an injury, and you know, it ended up, you know, affecting them. And Trixie right now, there's a lot of things that's going on with Trixie right now. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to offend her or anything, but we do know that she's at her breaking point right now. Sakura is the woman going into this with the less baggage between these 30 women. So she could somehow sneak in the back door and get the victory. Or Trixie just is so hell-bent and so at that point of that breaking point that she's going to do something that's going to affect both women so badly that, you know, it could be a possibility that both Amber and Sakura are out for a while with injury. I mean, Trixie has stated, you know, she doesn't hate Sakura, but she will do what she needs to do, and if that means hurting her to the point of hospitalizing her, she will. And we know the history with Trixie and Amber. I want to say Sakura somehow from behind, you know, because again, she has the less baggage, so she will be more clear-headed in this match. Amber could be just too hurt. And Trixie, she could, again, with her current mindset and everything, maybe too bloodlustful. I want to say Sakura, but I could also see Trixie. So I'm going to say Trixie. Trixie's going to win.
Malik.
Amber's showing up. She's gonna show up. Damn what anybody tells her, damn what any doctors tell her, damn what I tell her, damn what Zach tells her, she's showing up. And if she does, then she is going to go into that match like a wounded animal, and she is going to strike at anything that makes movement to her. Sakura, yeah, she's the wild card in that match, and she could possibly steal it. But I unfortunately cannot see her coming out a Wildcats champion. Not this night. If this was any other match with any other different set of people, I would have Sakura. But right now,
the way this year's been going, the way Trixie has been on a tear for the last year and a half, and the way Amber has been, I don't see Sakura winning this match. Will she be the dark horse? God, yes. But I honestly have Trixie winning the Wildcats championship. I think she is too pissed off, too emotionally invested, and too, dare I say, it's weird. It's a weird paradoxical combination, but I think she's laser focused, yet also extremely driven by her own rage to not come out leaving with the Wildcats title.
I'm going to shock you all right now. I'm going to stop this from being a clean sweep. I would pick Trixie. You know, like you two gentlemen. Because I feel like it's her time, if you get where I'm coming from. I think she's the heir apparent and all that. But there is a thing which has me not picking Trixie. Two things. One, all the shit with the blood trail going into Trixie. And to be more specific, that fucking disturbing, creepy message, and this ain't even blood trail related. More of the background going on with Trixie. That, of course, being, you know, where the fucking heretic, and I hate saying that fucking name for obvious reasons, said I would like to make Trixie my blood bride, if you all saw that. And we all saw how that affected Trixie, if you remember.
Yeah.
There's really three main background reasons. The second reason is the match beforehand, the Goddess title match. Of how close Trixie and Akira are. And we don't even know the status of Akira yet, okay? That also makes me not want to pick Trixie, because that could, you know, fuck with a mindset, okay? That might lead to, you know, that killer Trixie we saw at Fucked Up Amber a couple of weeks ago. But does that win you a title? Might injure someone, it might put them out, but you can get your hands caught, you can get caught and put them for 3 seconds. I think we can all agree on that. On this stage, that can happen. The third reason is also on this card, on this night. And that's Carmen Cortez. We already know what Sam for Murder brought. I don't like bringing it up. We already know what Sam for Murder brought between Trixie and Carmen. Those two are going to be in the same building at near enough the same time. And we all know the fucking animosity, the hatred, you know, the fucking... Let's be honest, they threatened to fucking kill each other, okay? You mean to tell me that I don't think that could be a factor into it? Fuck no, that could be a factor into it. So those are the 3 reasons in the background why I don't think Trixie will win. So then it comes down to who do I want to win. Because I have those reasons. Let me be clear, I want Trixie to win, but I have those reasons of why I don't think Trixie will win. So then it will come down to Sakura or Amber who I want to win. And to be honest, I don't think there'll be anything more satisfying for a member of the DCA audience this year than seeing Amber Stevens get humbled, losing that Wildcats title. I said it when her and Trixie had the match. There's no pleasure in seeing Amber Stevens get hurt. There's no pleasure in all that, no. What we've all wanted all year since Amber pulled that shit, and I'll still say it was shit at the anniversary show, was for her to get humbled. Because what she did was bullshit to claim that Wildcats title. We haven't wanted to see her get hurt, we've wanted to see her get humbled, and there ain't nothing more fucking humbling than losing the Wildcats title. Unfortunately, I don't think she loses the Wildcats title, I think she retains. Amber Stevens is hiding stuff from us. I'm just going to be brutally honest. And Malik, you may even give me a stir on that. I don't know if you want to or what. But something me and Jason have said all year, and Jason, you can back me up on this. Ever since the anniversary show, stuff she said has been so out of context for Amber Stevens. And maybe it has been the real Amber Stevens, we're not sure. But I see Amber at this event. I don't think she can miss this event. And I understand what you said, Malik, what you've told her, what Saka's told her. But I still think she's hiding stuff. And I think whatever the true Amber Stevens is, because we don't know that anymore, will show up. And even if it is a fucking wounded animal Amber Stevens, that's still one of the most deadly females in all of core wrestling. And yeah, Sakura will give it hell. Trixie will give it hell. But I see Amber Stevens walking out of Revelation 7 still Wildcats champion. Because I think there's more questions than answers going into that match. Final thoughts on that before we go on to the main event?
I've had, like, I guess, possible answers for it, but I don't want to say anything because I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to spread rumors or anything like that, but it's just something that's been in the back of my mind because of something Meredith has told me, and I'm not going to say what it is. Let's just move on.
Malik?
I got nothing.
Right. Main event of the evening. DCA World Heavyweight Championship on the line. The challenger, the current Core All-Stars World Heavyweight Champion John Blackles. The champion, the Ace of Destiny, the man undefeated at Revelations, Zack Stone. Who walks out DCA World Heavyweight Champion in this main event of Revelation 7. Jason Brown, go ahead.
At the beginning of the season, especially at Proving Ground 7, a lot of things happened, and a lot of emotions, a lot of things that we didn't truly know until months later. I'll straight up say it. I'll admit it. I said things that, in the moment, in anger, and because of other things going on at that moment, I was very angry. But as I've talked to Malik within the past couple of months, and truly, I stopped talking and did more listening, if that makes sense.
Fully understandable.
And there's a lot of things that I think we'll get to that some other day. On the main focus here with John and Zach, say what you will how he won the third title reign. Yeah, I've understood it from what Malik has told me and everything, but forgetting about that night right there, just taking that out of the factor, get that out of the equation, because that's not a factor in this. The factor is that the fact that Zach has been on the roll of a fucking lifetime. This is a Zach who's in phenomenal shape. This is a Zach who has reinvented himself, not just in appearance, but in ring. He's no longer, that guy who, who's doing corkscrew shooting stars. He's no longer, the high flyer. He's more ground and pound. I mean, he'll break out the high flying stuff when he needs to. Heck, he had to use a super kick, to take out Claudio. A move that, he hadn't used in forever. And he's just... Zach is so fucking good. Those classics he had with Takuma. And, in the first match, there was a lot of, questions, everything, because Takuma was injured that first matchup. And Takuma hung with a 100% Zach. And then, they had a follow-up match. An even better match. And Takuma was, at 80-90% at health. And those two just had a fucking barn burner. And just every match that Zach has been in, he's gotten even better. It's taken out the equation of if there's any bias or towards or against Zach. Zach is just fucking good. And then you have the other side of this, John. John has been another guy who's been on the road of his lifetime. A guy who ended the reign of Ben Hopkins. A guy who could possibly be the next CCL World Heavyweight Champion. This guy is, and he's going around from company to company. He's becoming, a belt collector of world titles, not just random belts, not a tag team, a mid card, second tier title here and there. He's winning world titles, and more could be in the future for him. Could the DCA world title be in the future? I mean, there's a strong possibility. Strong possibility. These two men, two of the best athletes in virtual wrestling today. Two of the best. And this right here, this is going to be almost on the caliber of something we recently saw, in a much better wrestling company than the Fed, known as AEW, with Danielson and Omega. This is going to be on the quality tier of that, if not even better. But at the end of the day, will the French Phenom be able to dethrone Zach? Or will Zach make John his fat beach that night? And my answer is hashtag and still DCA World Heavyweight Champion Zach Stone.
Malik, it's your turn, man.
You got two guys who have been always at the peak of their craft, and they always go another level every time. I think what people should understand or forget is that Zach, while he is the DCA World Heavyweight Champion, his thing has always been he wanted to be more than that. In a way, what John is what Zach wants to be. And he's been fighting like hell to try to be that. And this has been that year where he has been the most focused he's ever been in his entire career. And John, he's hit at another level as well. And just like, Jason said, John is, ever since John won the All-Stars World title, the belt that everyone has said for years, that was a belt that was only a matter of time he was going to get. And the moment he got it, it was exactly how people thought it was going to be. And while I respect John and I know he's a great athlete, I'm sorry, and still DCA World Heavyweight Champion, because Zach is at his absolute, I ain't even gonna say hungriest. He is at the point of starvation to not only make the statement that you're best I can beat, but I also deserve the very same prize you hold. He wants to make a statement, and beating John is his statement, and I think he will make that statement at Revelations by beating John.
This is something which people find a rarity. The main event of DCA Revelations, at least on the prediction show, is a sweep. I love John to death. John Blackos, Core All Stars World Champion, OCBF Champion, AWF World Champion, could be the next CCL World Champion. This has been a man who we have seen from your match, with him, back at, Core All Stars 12 Malik.
Yes.
Which was, an out classic. A match which I would say made John, if you don't mind me saying that.
No, I totally did.
And then it went from that match to the title match against Ben, where he ended Ben's reign. And we've seen John go on this tour with it, with the belt. He had a recent defense against Drew Diamond. He's got a defense coming up against my brother at Chaos Control, which we're hosting in a week or two. And we have seen John, when it has come to these big match pressure situations, come out clutch. Come out clutch, come out big. I mean, glory days where he beat Mason Credit to be AWF World Champion. John Blackos knows how to win the big match. The problem is that this is one of the biggest matches, but it ain't even that's the problem, because the biggest match you could say would be if this was title for title. No. The reason why this is a problem is because this is a big match, but he's going against the biggest player on the big match stage, especially when it comes to the Destiny Championship Alliance and the DCA World title, and that is Saxton. Now, I could be vocal on the way Sack won the belt because it still sticks with me, but you know what? That ain't even the point. And I've made this clear. You don't have to like the man. That's fun for the fan base. But you damn sure have to respect him. Look at the Saxstone we have had this year. This has been the best Saxstone ever. And you could say right now, John Blackos is at his best. These are two guys who are coming in at it at their very best. But ladies and gentlemen, this is Revelations. And if there's one thing, 1 year it'll come back to bite me, I fully agree. But if there's one thing which has been a surefire usually at Revelations, Malik, you can speak firsthand on this because you've had to deal with it twice. It is trying to beat Saxstone at this event. It's damn near impossible, and you've given him hell twice. Revelations 5 and 3. You gave this man hell. And he beat you twice. Hell, many of us thought you would do it at Revelations 5 when the world title was on the line. And he overcame you. We thought, Casey Gordon would run through him at Revelations 2. Sack overcame him. We thought Chronic would, be able to deal with Sack at Revelation 6. Sack not only beat him, but then fucking put him out! Saxstone ended the undefeated streak of Aaron Anderson at Revelations 4 to become world champion. This is his event! That is his title on the line. And he has the way to his overall goal, because we all know Sack's goal has always been to be recognised, on that Core All Stars world title, VWU world title level. To beat a man, you've got to beat the man. Saxstone, in his heart of hearts and head, knows he has to beat John Blackos. Because we've seen Sack take heavy defeats before, but he's been able, to recover from them. It's took him some time, but he's been able to recover from them. John can always earn his way back to the DCA world title. John's got world titles. This DCA world title is Saxstone's soul at the moment. And this obsession of being the best is his motive. Sack loses this. This could end him. He's got it all to gain, all to lose. And you could say that about both men. But for that factor, Saxstone retains the DCA World Heavyweight Championship at Revelations. Any final thoughts before we sign off? And this could go over any match.
This show itself is one of the most unpredictable and most emotional driven show probably in DCA in a very long time. Almost every match there's something. There's something that's very, very important. And not just, for career standpoint, but for livelihood. When this show is over, everyone's life is going to change. Everyone's life is going to change.
Malik, final thoughts?
Right about one thing, a lot of people's life is going to change. And maybe I haven't really said it on any program, but I will say it here. It's obvious, like you said in the earlier show, this is the first time in the history of DCA that I am not at a Revelations card. And I have been on every Revelation since the first ever one. And it's the first time I haven't been on the card at any point. And there are reasons why. And they will be told in due time. But all I gotta say is, yeah, Jason, you're right. Things are a lot of lives are gonna change. A lot of lives.
I think it's safe to say a lot of lives are going to change, but for better, for worse, we don't know. Seventh Deadly Sin, Revelation 7. It's the biggest night of the year for the Destiny Championship Alliance, the biggest weekend of the year. I don't know what I'll be walking into calling the show. I don't know what I'll be walking out of after the show. All I can say to the viewing public at home is after you've watched the show, you will not be the same. After we've called the show, we will not be the same. I will say that DCA will not be the same after this show. And for damn sure, let me go whole here, Virtual Wrestling United won't be the same. It is must not miss. You have to be there, you have to see it, you have to watch it. DCA Revelation 7, the seventh deadly sin. May we all be praised for our sins, may we all be purged from our sins. I've been Hickey Worldwide, joined by Robert McNichol, Downtown Jason Brown, and Malik Brown for the DCA Revelation 7 prediction show. We will see you at the main show. Thank you, and good night.